Did you know the very first sentence of the Bible contains a problem that even Christian scholars struggle to explain? It's a grammatical mystery, and it directly challenges the idea that the Bible is perfect, preserved, or even clear about who God is. Genesis 1:1 says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." At face value, it seems simple and unproblematic, but when we go back to the original Hebrew, things get complicated. The word translated as God is Elohim. What most people don't realize is that Elohim is plural. That's right, plural. It literally means gods. So if we're being honest, the more accurate translation of Genesis 1:1 would be, "In the beginning gods created the heavens and the earth." But that raises a massive theological problem. Why does every modern Bible translate Elohim as if it were singular? Why is gods silently changed to God? The answer is obvious, because admitting a plural form of God in the very first verse of the Bible opens the door to theological chaos. It contradicts the entire foundation of biblical monotheism. And this isn't just a Muslim critique. Christian and Jewish scholars alike have acknowledged the issue. Scholars like Michael Heiser, John Walton, the Jewish commentator Rashi, and even Christian apologist Michael Jones have all confirmed that Elohim is indeed plural in form. So why are Bible readers never told this? Why is it hidden behind translation? Let's go deeper. Genesis 1:1 presents one creator, singular. But in John 1:1 we read, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." Christian theology tells us that the Word here refers to Jesus. That means, according to John, there were two divine beings at the beginning, God and the Word, who was also God. Now we have a contradiction. Genesis says one God created everything. John says there were two divine persons at the beginning. So which one is true? Were there one or two divine beings at creation? This question shakes the foundation of biblical theology. If Genesis says God alone created everything, then introducing a second divine person in John is adding something Genesis never mentioned. And if John is correct, then Genesis didn't tell the full story, or worse, left out a key player in creation. Either way, the Bible contradicts itself. Some Christian apologists will try to say that Elohim is plural in form, but singular in meaning, that it's just a linguistic style. But this is a desperate explanation. Hebrew has singular words for God like El and Eloah. So why use a plural form, Elohim, at all, especially in the first verse of the entire Bible? If you were trying to teach monotheism clearly, would you use a plural word for God? Of course not. Yet the Bible does exactly that, and then modern translators cover it up with a singular word, hoping readers won't ask questions. Let's be honest. If the grammar says gods, but the translations say God, and the theology says Trinity, and the scholars say yes, Elohim is plural, then something doesn't add up. This isn't just about grammar. It's about truth. It's about clarity. And it's about whether the Bible can be trusted as a consistent message from God. Because if the Bible can't even make it clear who created the universe in its opening sentence, how can we trust anything that follows? How many divine figures were there at the beginning? One or two? If Genesis says one and John says two, then which one is right? And if both are somehow right, then why does the Bible read like two stories that don't fit together? This is not a small issue. This is a foundational contradiction. And it's one more reason we need to ask hard questions about what we've been told. Because if Genesis chapter 1 verses 1 already requires translation gymnastics and theological patchwork just to make sense, what else has been hidden? Think about that.